Yeah, you all just walk and look, and then there's just a tentacle, and you're like, yeah, this is what we get, isn't it?
Hey everyone.
Don't look in big black pools of water.
To venture deeper?
We've decided to go skinny dipping in the water we've already explored.
Ooh, that would be a nice bonding exercise.
Would it?
That would be a hot spring episode, but it's a cold spring episode.
Just Amaryllis as normal.
You can't bathe in the river water.
That's true. Oh god, we must all stink.
Yeah, we're all nasty.
But to be fair,
I mean,
this is cave water.
Amaryllis smells great.
Freezing.
Oh yeah, true. All you need to do is like reroute a piping system, and you've got a hot bath.
Yeah, steam pipes.
But it would kill anything that lives in it.
Win-win.
Oh, no.
No tentacles.
Sure. Yeah, we're gonna go deeper.
I just got a look from back there when I said that.
Okie dokie, artichokes. You start traveling deeper down this stone corridor. It starts to open up. Wait a minute. It starts to open up. And it is clear that this corridor... am I right in thinking that Doxy can speak Gnomish, Bella can speak Gnomish, or is it just Minotaur? You can speak Gnomish? Okay, great. You can work out the meanings of some of the signage on the walls, and it seems that this path leads to the center of this place. While it's not necessarily super Gnomish to say the name of a place while you're in it, it does, and I need to get that for you. One sec. This place was called Unom.
I keep meaning to DM you about a thing, Ollie.
You can slide into my DMs any day, Doxy.
Do it right now. Live.
Yeah, do it now so you don't forget.
Actual footage of Doxy sliding into someone's DMs. This is
so fierce.
This is premium content. You should pay for this.
While Doxy slides into one of his DMs, does the name Unom ring any bells for me?
You can give me a history check.
Is this Unon or Unom?
I could give you the spellings, and you guys can play with pronunciations. Because honestly,
is it like
I'm down for a better.
Unom.
I'm down for a better pronunciation.
Oh,
any
it's
day.
Unom.
Yeah,
It's like Snom, but
it is like Snom.
Unom.
Unom. Yeah.
You know, it sounded cooler when I was writing it.
I do that. Like there's times where I've created. In fact, it was for this campaign. I created a character name, and I was like, "Dean, what do you think of this name?" And he was like,
"Oh no!"
He's basically I created.
Your joke was so bad. It lagged me out.
I broke the internet. I am a Kardashian. I created a character name, and I was like, Dean, what do you think of this character name? Any good? And he was like, why does it mention like balls? like I just not reading it aloud. I just created this horrifically inappropriate name.
That can happen.
It was like Richard something or maybe, and I was like,
no, I can't remember what it was.
It was something very.
It was clear. You know what? I'm gonna scroll up and find it.
Oh, we're all the way up to the very top of the Roll20 game. Okay.
It might be in Dynamite's messages. Do you think? Carry on. Sorry, this is.
It probably is in
20 history check. Okay. Yes, because you've been around on Mother's Horn for a very long time. First of all, I think you even told these people about, there are rumors of gnomish ruins under a lot of Mother's Horn that still operate. You've seen evidence of this. A lot of the automatic, these were gnomes, not like the gnomes up in Clearkeep, that automated so much of their lives that they didn't need to do anything anymore. So the settlement is still functioning in its own weird way. There's just no one alive in them. And there are other adventurers who have gone and delved into one of them, many of them near Udar. which is hence a similar name. Udar is the biggest settlement city in Mother's Horn. It is, it rivals some of the cities in the mainland of Jarviskjir. And you very well may have been down one of those ruins before with groups of people, and that sort of places you're talking, automated minecart tracks that send ore to one place to another, and like adventurers ride them, and that's like meant to be a very exciting thing. You did it, you didn't quite understand it. Why would anyone want to move so fast? But because you've been here a long time, because you heard of that, and you've been here a long time, you do know of this gnomish place. It's older. Like, you've been here a long time. You have never heard of a living Unom. This city has been dead for a long time, hence the level of erosion and stuff. But is clearly linked to the others. It's probably not the same city, because that would be too large, but you would bet that it's all connected underground. If you just had the right way to find out about it. And like that other set of ruins under Udar and other places, it's going to be built into segments that often locked themselves away if they were self-sufficient, meaning you can actually safely explore this place one part at a time, as long as you make sure that none of the locked-off segments open. Each segment should be safe from the others, if you know what I mean. So if you brought the people in here and you didn't explore the other offshoots of this part, it would be fine. You can't bring them to the area.
Like the underbelly of a ship.
Like the underbelly of a ship. Now, something you don't know is how these gnomish civilizations died. There's never any bodies. If there are bodies, it's a very weird... If there are bodies, you've never heard of them.
Yeah, that would definitely... Because this is the sort of thing that Amaryllis is very interested in, and like why she travels and such. Like, she's very interested in finding lost history, so that would definitely be something... but she will basically explain all this in a very Amaryllis way and sort of imply that it might even be possible that there's a network running sort of all over Mother's Horn, potentially, and it was just an ancient civilization that's now gone, basically.
It goes without saying.
This will offer safe passage away from the eyes of, I don't know, dragons.
It is possible, but many automatons still move in these ruins. Some may have more dangerous guards than others. And that is not to mention that as the segments separate themselves, some might become inaccessible, some may require very complex mechanisms to unlock them. But it is not beyond the realm of possibility. Little is.
The evidence of aging here suggests that maybe even segments may be flooded or collapsed. But it's something to keep an eye out for. Keep track of which direction we're heading. Keep track of what might be above. And also, maybe we should keep an eye out for books or tablets or even carvings on the wall.
I would have great interest in such things. It is not
So would Leha.
known. It is not known how these gnomes, their civilization, fell. There have certainly never been reports of their remains, which is strange in such a place.
Well,
Wouldn't that imply to you that perhaps they just moved on?
there's no necessary evidence to say that their civilization fell. Perhaps, like our forebears, they got tired of where they were and moved.
Now, to continue your really good history check, you do know that gnomes have moved, like, there's an island city of gnomes, but you've never known gnomes to leave things behind. If they spent this much effort on a place, why would they do so, you know?
Would I also... I mean, it's probably not some... I probably wouldn't know enough to know, like, whether Estana was big enough to hold a reasonable amount of... Like, comparatively, in comparison to the scale of the ruins.
I mean, you couldn't imagine so. I think you would quite logically think that that doesn't quite completely connect.
It is not beyond the realm of possibility, but it does not seem in the nature of their people, nor are there known settlements of their people large enough to have been the same civilization. It seems strange that any other group of gnomes seems technologically behind these. If they moved, why would they not take this level of automation with them?
That's a fair point.
There's something you would notice having this discussion. There are sometimes, like, you're going down basically a nice long corridor. Based on your knowledge of underground settlements, you two girls, the smart people in the party, maybe that was an entranceway. Maybe that just was kind of an accidental. Maybe it was a back entrance, you know, or a side entrance or something. This is a long corridor, but you do notice doors that are sealed shut that don't have a key orb station. The other doors had basically a pillar in front of the door or beside the door. Had space for a key orb. Many of these don't. Many of these, it seems like the mechanics that would keep the door open or shut have no power to them, have no steam running through them. And actually, as you move, you notice less of the hiss of steam towards the rest of the facility. The notations on the walls call the area you just were the Lesser Forge, and the area you're traveling to the Grand Center.
I think I'd really like to get word to Gale about this place.
Amaryllis has nothing to say.
No, Amaryllis doesn't really even respond to that beyond the sort of...
Amaryllis doesn't even remember who Gale is.
Gale is my gnome friend.
It took Ian a moment to remember who Gale was.
Sorry, that's my fault.
No, that's okay.
No, it's been a long time since we met Gale. Soon it opens up. At first it opens up to kind of bodegas on the sides, where it'd be an excellent place for a little stall and storage. And there are places where there would be almost safety deposit boxes in the stone on the wall, where they're definitely removed. You can even see some of these boxes that have kind of fallen and have been left.
Is it like a market with like residential areas around? Or
as I say, as you get from there, it is a residential area.
Okay.
You imagine as you walk through, it's almost like a disc. To a gnome, 3 or 4 stories high. To a human, 2 or so. Some of the buildings are... You know, if you imagine it's a disc and it's all being carved out, but with pillars of stone remaining. Those pillars of stone are where buildings will be built into and then out of again. Making a very geometrical street system. And some of these are like market stalls. Many of them are more... almost like apartment-type buildings. All of them, there's like steam pipes that run between them and everything like that, but none of these steam pipes are operating. There's no clunking, there's no whirring. The whirring that you can hear is muffled by stone, stone, and stone. It's very empty. You can more hear the bats that lie on the ceiling that have started to deteriorate than anything else.
Are there any kind of items or anything laying around that I could like look through to look for books?
If you absolutely want to start looking through the houses, you can, or you can... It depends on whether you want to start looking through the houses first or scout the entire disc of the Grand Center first. It's which one you want to do first.
I would like to, just because I would just like to precognition. Is there anything aggressive that will be aggressive to us in this area?
You close your eyes, and as it's like you can see Bell like looking through this area right by the edge, where I mean you can't see any danger. You close your eyes and think, and you drown out the noise even more than it was before. And it's almost like you can hear the sound of stone, still stone. And in the blackness of your mind, you see a king. However, a king would appear in Amaryllis's mind. A boot standing on buildings, a club in one hand. There are no subjects. There is just a king.
Amaryllis opens her eyes and sort of the closest thing like her facial expression can get to a frown almost, and says, "The flow brings warning that there may be something aggressive in this area."
It's a text! It's a text from Satan!
Oh, sup, Reggie? Nothing, just exploring some caves.
A solitary being, like a king in these areas, with a great weapon. I cannot make perfect sense of it, but I would imagine, based on the kinds of creatures that live in such caverns, there is likely a single great beast that rules this area that we may wish to, or we will probably wish to avoid.
A ruler, a king, a single subject, a single thing that wields a weapon.
Yes.
Reminds me of that sea giant.
Amaryllis just nods.
I personally feel that we ought to respect that this is his domain and move to a new area.
I am curious for the histories that can be found here, although I suppose that does not have to be in this segment specifically.
We can take some time and search, but should trouble arise, I say we flee rather than fight.
I would not disagree. This might be a beast that is beyond us.
More importantly, there's no need to invade its home and kill it.
Agreed.
Okay, so I imagine you want to kind of look around the outside of the ring, keeping quiet for somewhere else to go.
Yep. I mean, yeah. Just see if, like, because everything's been fairly well signposted on the way down here. I'm assuming we might be able to even find the equivalent of a signpost sort of pointing somewhere else that will say Grand Forge or whatever it is.
Or library or anything.
Library would be brilliant, yeah.
There, you do, as you look around, you do see an area that would kind of be like a signpost. It's like a signpost to something like a hospital, where it's like this way, that way, that way, that way. Nearly completely faded. Only the signs kind of above large doorways seem to be more intact. I guess they were given much more detail and more deeper carvings and things. But if you want to start looking around for them, you can feel free to give me investigation checks.
Just before we do, this signpost thing,
Yeah.
you say like it points like 2 left, 3 right. which one has like the majority of signs pointed?
Because it's kind of built into like a ring. It seems pretty even in all directions. You don't notice an up or a down.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly side to side.
Further question, and this might be a long shot. Assuming that I have probably been in at least one of these rooms before, I am interested in them, I've heard a lot about them. Would I be aware of any sort of standardized layout for gnomish settlements like this I might be able to use to estimate other things?
Beating with your stick and scream no.
You know what? I can even make it a better whipping stick for him.
A whipping? Oh my god.
Oh god.
It's just jiggly enough to be uncomfortable. I will allow you to give a history roll because this is one of the times where I would need an architecture skill that you do not have in this edition. Yeah, I mean, this would be the main residential area, but like most gnomish settlements, there are, obviously, if someone needs to live nearer somewhere, they will also be living there. But you didn't see any living quarters up the way you came, unless you passed some, which is very true. What is note is that there's no power. Other than areas that seem to have their own source of power, whatever this place's main power generator is offline. And as you kind of look around, you notice a lot of things that the others might not even notice are doors because they are shut. Because there is no power. Even without a key, or even with a key, some of these doors wouldn't open because you haven't got power. If you want to explore this place without going brute force and breaking your way through stone and metal, first you need to find power, which would most likely, due to its importance, be offshot from this place.
Center.
And because if it had no power, it would lock itself off from the center, the doorway would most likely still be open. So it's very likely the only place you can go without brute forcing it or exploring more of the center, which might have a king in it, would be power generator.
Amaris would definitely relay this and suggest skirting round the outside until we find an open way somewhere.
I would, with my finger on like the grime in the floor, I would draw out the words power, the words library, and probably that's it. You pay special attention, like memorize these symbols.
There's a lot of grime in this floor because in this place you got bat droppings. Less than the other places because they didn't have that much stuff living in them. Yay! It was you rubbing your finger on the floor that reminded me that, oh yeah! Nice. Cool. You know what? With that history check being so good, you're not going to need to do an investigation check. What I'm going to need to do is a perception check.
Uh-oh.
We're in trouble.
Let's hope it's very blind.
You skirt around the outside, and as you do, all roads lead to Rome. All the parts that go inward, sometimes they twist and turn. Or they never twist. There's no curves. Sometimes they diagonally turn, and sometimes there's a right angle. But they all lead to the center, and it's clear from the smell, when you get to the right airflow, that something quite foul and unclean is living in the middle. Not corrupted. It is not the sweet smell of corruption. It is the smell of some sweaty, musty, filthy monster.
Just as about to say, purge the heretic.
Being stinky is not heretical. Not yet.
Depends on the religion.
That's true.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
I am the church.
But you stay clear of it. While it's clear that there's something in there, and it also appears to be, it's you moving by your light and Amaryllis's dark vision, if Amaryllis has dark vision.
Nope.
You're moving by your light, but it would seem, based on the designs and the way sound moves and things like that, that there is a big building in the middle as well, kind of like a courtyard sort of thing. Big building.
I have the image of Torrin like having light cast on his finger. He's got it like this, like a torch.
A torch. That's really good. Torrin's, he's just dumb enough to not care about being goofy like that. It's also practical.
I could try to sneak and see what I see, but it's awfully dark in there.
Knowledge is power.
I'll say this is you haven't also explored the whole ring yet. I was just telling you this before I got further. But if you want to do that event, I'm more than happy for you to do so.
If we want to power the place, it will certainly alert the beast
True, yeah.
that we are here. But it would allow further exploration.
Well, if we're going to have to power up the place, then we may as well find out what it is that we're going to face.
I don't want to face it, is the thing.
Well, neither do I. Maybe if we spoke to it, we could offer it a deal. We'd power the place up and increase its kingdom. In return, we'd have to perform some maintenance around, check the rooms.
It's worth a try.
But maybe you should sneak up and look at what it is before we try to talk to it.
If I can see anything.
You've got this. You'll be fine.
I think we've got to offer something to it as a show of faith as well.
Oh, right.
Everyone looks at Amaryllis. No.
She is the most ravishing one here.
You guys take a look at your inventory.
I am.
I've got a lot
One
of
alcohol keg.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of it. Right
I've got a lot.
I have
blocks
a
of
ring
incense.
I have a ring that glows with letters on the inside of the band. That was my trinket.
That's right. You do have the one ring.
Oh, ring, yeah, I forgot about that.
I have my
funny.
mom's empty perfume bottle. I could give it my daggers. I never use them.
What about some blocks of incense? And then he can stop being so stinky.
Do you have incense?
Yeah, I've got 7 blocks of incense.
Let's offer a
And
dagger.
like
an
he
incense.
needs to smell like a king, right?
I feel like
we
you
can
could
take
definitely
him frankincense.
you could definitely bullshit the incense story. You talk about the stinkiness and the godliness and the heresy.
Yeah.
I feel like that alone might be good enough if you get good persuasions.
All right, I would take the incense from Torrin and one of my daggers and wrap it in the rabbit fur that I have from way back. And try to sneak.
Give me a sneak roll.
Wait a minute. Wait. Rick. Let her feet be as swift as the wind and quiet as a whisper.
Enhance ability.
My abilities are enhanced. You have to speak like that now, Doxy, I'm afraid. For 1 hour. You gain
Well, I'm hoping to not.
Cat's Grace, so you have an advantage on dexterity checks. You also don't take damage from falling 20 feet or less.
Awesome. Okay.
So you have advantage on your stealth.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yep, stealth with advantage.
Just so we're all clear, I'm not trying to engage with this thing right now.
You're just you're
Cook
looking
this
around.
stuff in case I bump into
Just giving
him.
him a sniff. You're not trying the soup yet. You just...
There it is.
Boom.
Why should I even roll? Now this is a little difficult because now you're going and having to look around without your eyes. You're going into pitch black darkness. Whatever it is that lives in the city center is not lighting fires. That's not true. You actually pass the remains of some fires. Some buildings that are a little bit more open. Straight up, some segments have just been kind of turned into bonfires by what must be a large creature. You sneak up close to the city center, and there's an area where there's kind of a circular courtyard. This whole area is circular. There's a building behind that looks administrative, you know? It's got a degree of class to it. And in front of that is the camp, I suppose you'd say, of a tall, lumpy, sagged-skinned troll. You may have seen trolls in the distance before, Belle. You've definitely never encountered one face-to-face. Not a cave troll, either. Now, cave trolls are not fat beings. They're, in fact, incredibly, uncomfortably skinny. This one is kind of curled, sitting up on in itself. Kind of, weirdly enough, similar to how the spirit was sitting. But, it's eating. It's eating a particularly large bat. It is chewing on it. You can hear the crunching and groaning. You have to get quite close to really see it. Every motion it makes saggy skin just droop and dribble and drop. It's like it's wearing the skin of a creature twice its body weight. The skin itself, even though you can't see the color yet, I'm giving you the descriptions, is you know, a stony grey, little bits of orangey red in there. It's a mottled stone color. Some segments of the skin are wartuous. Some kind of have bubbled up. Lots of scars, lots of injuries, and those scars have healed. They've healed. They haven't healed well. The creature is wearing clothing and bangles and things that are all clearly either made by him or by another troll, because the hands are not so dexterous. The way it's holding this big bat kind of like up over its head. It kind of has to like squish its long droopy nose out of the way to crunch and eat on the thing. And it does have a crown made. It seems like it would be kind of the rim of a really big one of these steam pipes. That actually looks pretty great because it has like the rivets and things. And it is kind of put on the top of a not very smooth head. The troll has not noticed you. But it's clear it's taken possession of this place.
Okay.
I
would sneak back.
Yeah, from your understanding of trolls, they're intelligent enough to converse with, although you doubt you could speak their language. But they're extremely territorial.
Right.
You're not going to share this place with it.
Okay.
It even had the remains of the automatons kind of like spiked up in displays of power.
A very barbaric fashion, yeah.
He's got a crown.
I would sneak
Thanks
back.
for violence, hooray!
And tell the boys, it's a troll. It is suffering. It is starving. It has poorly mended wounds. But it's dangerous. I've never spoken with a troll before. But I don't think that we can coexist. What I recommend is that we appeal to it that it will be happier somewhere else. A troll can't live on bats for long.
And where's it going to go that doesn't involve it seeing our village?
There's got to be other exits, and it would know better than we would.
Do we want to risk it?
No, I wouldn't.
I don't want to fight it any more than you, Belle. But at the same time, I don't want to unleash it upon the village.
It's already suffering. I think we can appeal to it.
What if one day
Especially
it's
with
not
an
suffering?
offering. What?
What if one day it isn't suffering anymore and decides to come back?
We are better than using what if one day as an excuse. The tree, the spirit, the forest could have said, what if one day the humans betray me and cut down the forest?
So, the reason for you saying that is you want to let this beast go free.
If we must kill the beast, then I would at least see us do it for the right reasons.
Yes, we kill it so you, me, Balara, my father, my mother, everybody in Cornucopia is safe. That's why we kill it. Everything we've done so far is for Cornucopia, killing one more thing, which is already suffering.
But should we point it to happier times? Perhaps it will think fondly of us.
My worry would simply be conveying for it to leave in a manner that doesn't involve it going through, around, or near the village or villages that are currently outside of the wall would be difficult.
Perhaps Leha would be able to communicate better than we could.
Respectfully, I won't let you put my tutor in danger. She's an old lady now. And don't tell her I said that, but she's not the fighter she once was.
I wouldn't put her in danger either. It's if she would have confidence that she could do it, then I would ask her to. And be by her side while she did.
The other, although this is not the primary concern for you, is that another path that would presumably lead to the surface may unleash it on another village somewhere else.
Certainly could not have that either.
What if we didn't kill it? What if...
Torin, I would like to quickly say that you shot down my argument for using the words what if. No, you're puzzling something with the same words.
My argument was against killing something because it might do something.
Yes. There is precedent for a giant attacking a village.
Yes. What if we gave it a beating and took its crown?
Anger it. Good so far.
We could lead it away like that. Surely it wouldn't let someone take its crown away, even if it meant leaving its territory.
I think it would be more mercy to kill it than to do that.
I agree.
Then I guess we shall have to slay the beast.
Amaryllis, I will assume you know more of these beasts than I. Are they capable of reason, of empathy?
If you want to give me a nature or history roll, feel free.
Like my nature and history rolls today. That's number 17.
You've encountered trolls before, but not cave trolls. They're intelligent creatures. They're not
You said
intelligent.
this isn't a cave troll.
Did I?
Yeah.
I said it's not like a Lord of the Rings cave troll. That's at least what I meant. It's a troll
Okay. All
in a
right.
cave.
All right.
Not,
I just
not to be
wanted-
confused with a troll in a dungeon.
Also that, yeah. Get those 2 troll stereotypes out of your mind. You've encountered forest trolls before, that are a little more talkative and things. If you can speak its language, which is the language of giants, then they can be talked with.
Do you actually speak giant?
No.
No,
Doxy was
Doxy
excited.
just like, whoa, me.
She was very excited.
Can't speak giant, can you?
They speak beast tongue, right?
They
No,
speak
giant.
I
I resent that on a
recall us
personal
talking
level. You
about
are
them
saying that
talking
giants
beast
are
tongue.
no better than beasts.
No, I remember that's the reason I took beast tongue was because you said that giants were in this land and they would probably speak beast tongue.
That was Minotaur.
Minotaur.
Minotaurs
Beast tongue.
speak beast tongue. Giants speak giant.
Trolls,
always.
although
I
some
withdraw
maybe
everything
are
that I have said in
beasts.
the past minute.
That's fine.
Amaryllis.
I'm not done.
Okay, sure.
They can be talked to if you speak their language. Many of them also speak a little bit of common. This one is on its own, so it's probably less social, which could be good or bad, because a lone creature like a troll or an ogre is either going to be very needing of social contact or very against social contact. But if you speak its language and like any giant, you want to act stronger. You want to be stronger.
We beat him down and take his crown and say, "We Troll King now."
Yeah, like Torin's idea, while kind of silly, does actually sound like it has some precedent.
I understand the ordning.
The downside of trolls, or the difficulty with trolls, and the reason why Belle might find the appearance of this one like it's sick, is their regenerative properties. It can lead to them looking quite strange, and no 2 trolls looking quite alike. While she's described this one as starving, that probably isn't the case. It probably hasn't got a very... It's not got a varied diet. It's not getting its 5 fruit and veg a day. But trolls
wine,
have
bit of bat.
sagged skin anyway. It's one of the reasons why they're actually quite hard to hurt with conventional weaponry, because it actually clogs up your attacks with most weapons. But also they mutate. And sometimes those mutations, especially in a place that may have magic going on in it, can be very strange. So this is most likely just a mutated, slightly hungry troll, but not a starving one. Not one that will be weakened by hunger, based on your understanding.
Yeah.
My bad. I
No,
still
you
would have
didn't
relayed
know.
that it was starving. Yeah,
Yeah.
like she for sure would have read that as starving.
Amaryllis would sort of summarize this as trolls they are capable of speech, mostly in the tongue of giants, although some speak the common tongue in a limited fashion. Whether they have empathy is another matter. They are capable of reason. It is not impossible to appeal to it from a position of strength. But there would be no guarantees, and I fear that a beast that appears sick is more likely the sheer impact of their regenerative abilities rather than one that has been weakened and is on its last legs. It possibly has no reason to leave.
Then we abandon the ruins or we kill it.
I say kill it.
This could help our people. It could save them. We don't know what's to come in winter. And having somewhere like this to stay safe could be the difference between life and death.
I'll do it. I will help you slay this beast. Just know that I am doing it with a heavy heart.
Allowing myself to daydream for just a moment. Just a moment. Having an ally in a giant would be quite the boon.
Of course, we'll try to speak to it first. Of course, we will.
Solitary giantkin are solitary either because they wish to be and they despise others, or because of circumstance. You would be...
You mean
Yep.
exile?
Perhaps. I do not know if these types of trolls form communities, but it might be desirous of interaction, or it might shun it. It depends on this individual troll.
If it
Not
didn't,
make any broad judgments.
if it didn't care for the impression it made on others, it wouldn't wear a crown.
No, but a ruler in a crown cannot necessarily coexist with others easily. It may desire only rule.
Reminds me of a certain gnome we've dealt with.
I thought the king was rather nice myself.
Not the king.
Amaryl smiles slightly and says, "It would be an ironic twist of the flow to find a troll more reasonable than the leader of a gnomish settlement."
Well, I think we can say with some certainty that he's not going to put us to work as slaves.
Valara would chuckle.
Flash forward. You may be wondering how
The
we got
gang
here.
becomes slaves.
Let's
Well, let's go
fuck him
forth
up.
and try to speak with
sorry,
him.
Let's try to speak. I'm a priest. I'm sorry, I forgot.
I'm a healer, but
He puts the mace away. Like, yes, speak.
this sounds like an excellent thing to do next week.
Club a troll to death.
You gonna club a troll, he's gonna club you. He'll
Yeah?
club you to death.
I'm
Me
not
and-
scared of him.
Me and Doxy are going to riddle it with holes, and then you're going to go once on it. And
Look
it's
at my name. You don't mess with me.
Well, technically, it's a troll, which, similar
Which
to
is
a
a
giant
lesser
and in
giant.
the bloodline of giants.
I already killed its sea daddy.
It would be a social faux pas to refer to one as a giant in polite conversation.
You know, I actually really enjoy Giant King, the Ordning, all that stuff. That's some great lore right there. I thoroughly enjoy that.
It's a little different here, but yes.
Well, yeah, I know it's a bit different, but I've encountered
You've encountered enough to know.
a fire giant, a cloud giant.
You pushed a cloud giant off its own barge.
All right, before
floating
Neil
barge.
starts masturbating all his previous giant kills, why don't we talk a little bit about who we are, starting with the Giant Slayer himself, Dean Cuddy.
Hello. I'm a giant slayer.
I've never been blue-billed greater.
Let Neil talk about himself for a moment. No. Down, boy.
If you search Dean Cutty on any website, you will find me, such as YouTube, such as Bandcamp, such as Steam, such as Spotify. Actually, no, I'm lying. That's Dean Cutsforth. If you search Dean Cutsforth on Spotify,
You get all
iTunes,
these lovely
or
songs on there.
Bandcamp, you will find me. Hannah, wave goodbye.
Ah!
Beautiful.
Ah!
Disembodied hand.
All right, let's go back to the natural order of things and back to Neld.
Hello.
Neldis.
I am Neldor the Mighty, Slayer of Giants.
Neldor the Mighty!
That might be the name of my gnome whenever I create him. Wouldn't that be great? Neldor the Mighty. Oh!
Let's be gnomish twins.
Oh!
Neldor
God.
and Denob.
Oh, wow.
I already love it. Hey, you can find me on Twitter at naghai_ or on the Discord at naghai. Go join the Discord if you haven't already. It's the perfect place to talk about Jarviskjir, Trolls, this campaign, the Star Wars campaign, and post pictures of your drawings and other stuff. If that's what you like to do. Someone was saying earlier they might do a drawing. Put it in there at me.
Yeah.
I want to see it. And you can also find me on twitch.tv/DaleRick for a Kingmaker Pathfinder campaign where I play Rayrin, the Chosen of the Quill. We're a theocracy.
Well, let's get away from that nonsense and back to the sensible boy that is Ian.
Okay, apparently I never said. Well, no, yes, okay. I
You're
suppose-
probably, you know, the caliber of friends I hang out with. Ian is one of the most sensible. Neil's become sensible in his old age.
That's fair. I'm Ian, aka Arvine. I am the Oliver's Discord's resident Weeb Empress and second most experienced Jarviskjir person after Neil, and obviously Ollie, but Ollie doesn't count.
I don't count. No.
Ollie doesn't count.
Can't get past 3.
At me, talk to me about D&D. Talk about D&D and Yarv in the Discord. We love talking about it. I love talking about it. Also,
Don't get me started.
subscribe to Ollie's Patreon. For $5 a month, you get access to the podcast of a Monday game, which is a bit more chill, but also very D&D at the moment, despite being set in a school, effectively, an adventurer's school, where just the session just gone, the solution to everything was apparently set on fire.
It follows on from the previous Patreon. So
Yes.
it's
But you don't need to know about it.
No,
need
you
to
don't.
read
But if you know about all of it, then it's a bonus.
Yeah,
You'll understand why they're so happy.
It's
to
like when
see
you
characters
watch-
return.
Like a series that's
It's
like-
Legend of Korra to
Yeah, exactly,
Avatar: The Last
exactly,
Airbender.
exactly.
If Legend of Korra was a high school anime,
which may be,
I haven't watched it all.
may or may not be.
Someone else I'd like in a high school anime is Zero Doxy.
Hi, that's me. I'm Doxy. I am gross, and you will love me. God damn it.
Just like
You can
that
follow me
troll.
on Twitter at ZERODOXY or Twitch at twitch.tv/ZER0DOXY because I am terrible at branding.
Whoa, you put 0 in your name, and your name is Zero Doxy.
Hmm.
Whoa.
Nullception.
Next is
Galaxy
me.
Brain.
I'm me. As Neil mentioned, there is currently a new show on Sundays. That is a Star Wars game set between episode 3 and 4. I'm really enjoying it because, you know, Star Wars just is very tonally gels with the way I do things. I'd love to see discussion about this episode, but there's actually some nuggets of deep lore hidden within this episode. Which is always neat because this game is so removed from all the other Jarviskjir stuff we've done on a geographic scale.
Yeah, God, don't you feel
Sometimes things that are more normal in this game would be mind-blowing in others and stuff like that. I post homebrew on my Patreon.
Yes, there's a new homebrew
I
recently.
posted a paladin subclass today. because I was trying to fall asleep and I couldn't, and I came up with 2 paladin subclasses. I only wrote down 1. So that second one might show up someday. I can't write down 2 things.
Was the other one like
The other one, I can tell you, is range combat focused.
Oath of Sleep? Oath of
Oath of Dreams would also make sense in Jarviskjir.
Yeah.
Also, on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, I often do other streams. I've recently finished being very busy, so I should be streaming tomorrow and Friday. I don't know what I'm going to play. It's either going to be Pokemon or an art stream, or I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, the newer one, because I become a Star Wars nerd again. That's me.
That is how it works. I go through phases of my nerddom where I'm in Star Wars nerddom mode. Right now I'm like in Elder Scrolls nerddom.
Yeah, and then like Lord of the Rings, you throw that in there.
You just go through
Watchmen or comic books or something. I'm in a big Star Wars phase, which I'm down for. And if you want to share in my insanity, join me during those things. Then there's a Discord, then there's a YouTube, then there's a
blue milk.
Grab myself a blue milk. I like that line. I'm mildly proud of it. I probably stole it from someone, but you know what? That's what artists do! I'm gonna leave you now, instead of talking about myself for ages. But if you want to see that, come back on Thursday.
I'm gonna leave you now. What's that? Is that Lord of the Rings? I feel like it's Lord of the Rings.
I think that's just a words people say.
Just my life.
And now we're ending the show.
I gotta wait for the credits to scroll back to the night. Okay, now I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Bye. Say bye.